Alright, what's up everybody? You stinky fuckers. Welcome back to another video. Here we are, in Fall Guys. I said I wouldn't do it. I said I wouldn't. But I'm here, and I'm doing it. I find myself more frustrated with this game than I do actually enjoying myself. But it's low-key kind of addicting, you know, to just keep trying that slim little chance of basically nothing to get that win, you know? So I find there's zero strategy with this game, and I don't like games that have zero strategy because then it's really just you could have some stupid Dizzle who wins the game, or fucking Albert Einstein, bro. Like, it doesn't matter. There's no skill. It's just luck. Like, it's either you get shit on or you don't get shit on, and that's just how it is. So anyway, I have a bit of a funny story to tell today, actually, and it's a story about me being in school. So there was this kid, right? This poor kid, man. He got bullied quite a bit, and it's basically a mix-up story. The teacher mixed me up with a different guy named Jake, and well, long story short, I got in some big shit. So I'll just start the story off by saying this kid that was getting bullied was somewhat my friend, an associate of mine within my friend group of like 5 people. He was just kind of always there, you know. Wouldn't say we're the closest friends. We had conversation, we played video games together. Whatever though. Um, whatever. So anyway, he goes outside of my school. There's a big long hill, and it goes up to like this little plaza area where there's a McDonald's, there's a Subway, there's a pizza shop, there's a little candy shop up there. So anyway, this kid, we'll call him Jubert. So Jubert goes up the hill, okay? And he goes up this hill for lunch, and he ends up stopping in at Subway. Um, and he ends up leaving his shoes there in Subway, his gym shoes, his basketball shoes, right? And so he leaves his shoes there, and 2 of my other friends happened to go up there as well for lunch and ended up in the same Subway, and they were like, oh man, Jubert left his shoes here, whatever, fuck it, his name's Evan, anyway. So they're like, Evan left his shoes here, like, shit, like, let's bring him down to him. And of course they couldn't just leave it at that, you know, of course there had to be a bit of a joke, a bit of a prank to do with it, because that's just how teenagers are, man, like, teens are just like that, you know, pulling pranks on each other, little jokes, being mischievous, you know, whatever. But, anyway, so they take him down, and they tell Evan, they were like, oh man, you left your shoes up at Subway, we saw them up there, but we didn't know if they were yours, so we just, you know, left them there. And he was like, oh shit, those were mine, because after he checks his bag, he realizes that they were his after all. And he was like, oh shit, those are mine. So he goes back up the hill about halfway, and then they call him, and they're like, oh, we were joking, your shoes are here. We were just joking around with you to make you go back up the hill, you know, to get these shoes. And he was like, he got really pissed off, as you could probably tell. What the fuck? So anyway, he got really pissed off, and so he comes back to the school and he's storming around, and my 2 friends give him his shoes, and this kid is really sensitive, right? So he automatically thinks they're bullying him, and this is like straight up assault, right? And so that's already an issue, and there's also this other kid who is notorious for bullying him, who wasn't part of our friend group whatsoever. He just actually bullied this kid. And so this kid, Evan, brings this situation to attention to my principal, and so my 2 friends and Evan go down to the office, and they're having it out, and the principal decides that she's going to handle all these bullying situations in one go, in one shot, you know, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. So she calls this other kid that's notorious for bullying my friend Evan, whose name happens to be Jake, right? And so the first Jake she knows, because I'm pretty well known in the school and whatnot, the first Jake she thinks of is me. She doesn't associate last names, she doesn't do any of this shit. She just thinks of me, right? And so, anyway, so she calls me down to the office, and there's this little front section, and I think it was like a rainy day or something, so there was like a solid 20 people in my grade standing out front of the office, right? And so she calls me out into front of the office instead of like in the office, you know? So I'm standing out there in front of 20 people, basically getting told off for bullying this kid that I've never bullied in my whole life, right? And so I'm sitting there, and it's a big joke in the school now. Like a couple of my friends always say, and like other people that I go to school with. But she's like, she's yelling, screaming in my face, like, you know what you've been doing to this poor kid. And I looked her dead in the eye, and I was like, me? And I screamed that shit so loud, bro. The whole, like, everyone heard, and everyone started laughing, and I like had a little voice crack. Anyway, you get the idea. And so I'm, you know, sitting there flabbergasted, like I've never done this shit my whole. I'm straight up getting accused for stuff that that I've never done. Like none of this shit has ever happened, right? And so then, because of the amount of like the kid that actually bullied him, like literally like pushed it to the point where it's basically like assault charges, like it's actually like law enforcement should be involved. So she calls the police, right? And the police are coming to the school, and I'm like, holy shit. But I actually kind of felt safer as a middle class white kid that the police were coming, because then I knew it's law, and like I have the right to remain silent. She can't, I'm not talking unless I have my parents and a lawyer and whatnot. Like I know my laws. So anyway, I start saying that like I'm not talking. I have the right to remain silent. You're getting the law involved. I don't have, like you don't have to make me speak. I'm not talking till I have my parents and or lawyer, whatever you need. I'm not talking. So I shut up. And then she realizes that she has this kid, Evan, pokes his head out the door, this squeaky little cuck. I'm not friends with him anymore because he's actually like a squeaky little bitch. But anyway, he's like, oh, that's the wrong Jake. And so I'm sitting there shitting my pants because the police officers are on their way, right, to come like retrieve me and take me to prison or some shit, lock me up. And so I'm shitting bricks, bro. Like I'm scared as hell. And the amount of relief, off my shoulders after he said that's the wrong Jake, bro, I was like a smile came onto my face because of how like actually, like excited I was. They had the wrong person, man. So anyway, they got the wrong person, and I'm relieved as hell. But like it was scary as hell, bro. I've had the cops called on me in school like twice now, or like 3 times, for like random shit. I'll tell those stories were on my other channel, so I'll probably make a new story time for those, but they're pretty damn crazy stories. Like this is like the least crazy story out of all of them, if I'm being honest. This is like the least crazy of all of them. So anyway, sorry for actually sucking dick at the game. I'm kind of focusing on talking and not the game at all, so anyway, I'll show those stories in another video. But yeah, just it goes to show how like crazy. And oh yeah, and I guess the part that made me the most mad is that this lady didn't have the heart. She was so embarrassed for yelling at me and like making an absolute embarrassment of herself. That she didn't even say anything to me. She didn't even say sorry. She wasn't like, oh yeah, sorry for this, like that's so embarrassing, like I feel so bad, I just yelled at you for no reason. She was like, you're dismissed, in her bitchy ass little sneering face. And bro, I've never wanted to punch somebody in their jaw piece so hard in my whole life. But anyway, she's let me off the hook, and I felt this relief. But yeah, it just goes to show, I wanted to tell this story because I was talking about this story to my dad the other day here, because, well, it just goes to show how you heard me mention that I felt safer when I heard the police were coming, and we were talking about how scary that is, that what if I was like a black kid or a kid of color, like how safe would you feel then, right? And it's so sick to think that, a kid of color or something like probably would feel a lot less safe in that situation than I would. Being a white little kid, like, I I felt safer that they were coming, you know. I was like, felt like they were coming and going to protect me. They were going to hear out my side of the story, and they were going to protect me. Um, but yeah, that's the situation. Has a bit of a moral to the story, you know. Like that's a perfect example of like white privilege right there. And hope you guys enjoyed that story. Leave a like and a comment, whether or not you want to see of this, more of these high school stories, specifically more getting the police called on me type of stories. One of them was like literally in kindergarten, basically. Not kindergarten, like it was like grade 3 or 4, I want to say, maybe even 5. I think it was grade 4 though. So I was like a little kid, bro, like 10 years old, 11 years old. Crazy story. I'll be re-uploading, or yeah, not re-uploading, but remaking those videos on this channel. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Go watch my other 2 videos. I'd really appreciate that. You can follow me on Instagram at sleazyofficial, all one word, you know, 3 E's as always, SLEEEZY official. So you can go follow me there if you want to keep up to me. I'm probably going to be making a Twitter soon, which will either be Sleazy, the same as my YouTube, or Sleazy Official, same as my Instagram. Y'all go follow me on there. Watch the last 2 videos I posted, maybe 3 by the time you're seeing this one. Give them a like, give them a view. Just help me get my view counts and watch time up so I can get this count sky high. I'll see you boys and ladies in the next video.